Hey, this is Jeffrey Suey again, and welcome to the next video. I'm really excited about this video. Now that we've talked about what is a strategy coach and what is strategy coaching, I'm really looking forward to sharing these distinctions with you. This video is titled Unconditional Love. And this is really, ultimately, chances are if you're a coach or if you're a human for that matter, you know that this is really what life for most of us is all about. And we're going to cover in this video how to use the life blueprint to instantly transform your client's life. And if you haven't already watched the video about life blueprints, I'd encourage you to do that. We're going to cover that a little bit as we get into this video. Even if you haven't watched it, you're going to get a good understanding of how this process works. Now, in this video, we'll watch as Nikki, who is going through one of our certification trainings at the time, transforms her life. She goes from judging herself and sabotaging her relationship to unconditional love for everyone around her. She does it in about 40 minutes. So in this video, we're going to see some stages that Nikki goes through. First of all, we're going to cover and talk about with Nikki what not enough time with my boyfriend really means. This is the first thing that actually gets her talking to me in the training. Second, we're going to get to the root of the problem, what we call certainty. And then finally, we'll actually demonstrate, and Nikki will go through the unconditional love exercise. So let's start, and we're going to talk about what not enough time with my boyfriend actually means. So right when we begin this interaction between Nikki and I, you're going to see that Nikki, she stands up, she starts talking about she doesn't get enough time from her boyfriend. And when, as a strategy coach, you're beginning an interaction with somebody, the first thing you got to ask is, okay, what's the real problem here? Almost never does your client present you with the real problem. The presenting problem is never the problem, so to speak. So this is the beginning of the conversation. I don't get enough time with my boyfriend. And so immediately, I didn't say this outside. You won't see me say this. But I thought, okay, what's the real problem? I started searching for that. So at the start of this video, Nikki's going to stand up. She complains that she doesn't get enough time from her boyfriend, and we'll soon find that she had been making it so hard on him that he had moved out of their house and was likely going to leave her for good. So watch and listen closely as I learn the real meaning of I don't get enough time from my boyfriend.
I realized that I really only spend a couple hours in my relationship, and like physical hours, because he's moved out about 4 or 5 months ago, and I spend like 80 hours or more wanting more time with him, like crying.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like I didn't even realize that. I wouldn't have realized that.
Didn't realize that
I wouldn't have realized
most of your time was spent missing
wanting
him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you think you realized it before?
I don't know until I wrote it out and saw it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, that's not...
And
I
so
think I'm getting connection from that, or value, or
Say again?
significance. I think I'm getting connection from that, or value, or significance.
Connection from what?
Wanting him.
From not having him.
Yeah, because he's busy.
Right. Did you have him before? Before you left?
Well, he lived with me, but he still was busy, but he was there. But no, I didn't.
So you really didn't have him before either?
No.
Did you feel better before?
No.
So
I've just been doing this for 4 years.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it until I saw it written out. When it says, how many hours do you spend?
Right.
And I had to be honest.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
So Nikki, what's your blueprint for how many hours he should spend?
Probably every single hour.
So no wonder you're crying about this.
Yeah.
She has a blueprint. Can he ever meet that blueprint? No. So he can never make you happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you just realize?
That I was setting myself up to lose and setting him up to lose, and he can't feel significant, or he's not feeling significant. He feels insignificant.
Yeah.
And he hates me.
Yeah, no wonder.
Yeah.
Because if if a man loves you, if he really does love you, and he knows he can't make you happy, which he does, then he feels like shit.
Yeah, and I make him feel like shit.
Yeah. And then and it's not like you're reinforcing the feeling like shit. So your man feels insignificant, and he's getting certain that he can't make you happy, and so when that happens, he'll give up, and so he focuses on what? Work, or what? What is he? Why doesn't he have more time than he already spent?
Yeah. Well,
Where does he spend his time? Homework?
Taking care of himself. Taking care of himself because I'm not, I suppose.
What does that mean, though? Like, how does he take care of himself?
Making himself happy. Anything he likes, the fights, working out at the gym, homework, his friends.
Hanging out with his friends, yeah. So he goes into other vehicles for significance where he can feel significant because he can't with you.
Yes. Okay.
So what are you going to do about that?
Well, I kept saying, if you love me enough, if you connect with me enough, you'll have everything you want. Because if you give me what I want, you have the whole world. And so we're battling. He wants significance, and I.
What are you going to do? I got what's going on. I got it sucks. I think we all get that.
I'm gonna give up needing connections so much. I'm gonna
Great. Well, that'll work really well. Just give up connection.
No. Okay. I'm gonna.
That's what you've been doing. That's not working too good.
Okay.
He's doesn't want to hang out with you, and you're real unhappy.
What am I gonna do?
I mean, this situation is not. It's not a good thing.
No.
It's painful for you, and the game you're playing to get connection by having a rule that no one can meet guarantees you lose, like you said. Guarantees you're going to be in constant pain.
Yep, I am.
Or distract yourself, which maybe you did before, but anytime you deal with it, the most important thing, which is love to you, you miss out on it. Especially the most important love, which is your intimate relationship.
Yeah.
Most important source of love. So you'll never have love, and he'll never feel like a man or feel like the man that he could be, because he has no significance with you, so he has to go distract himself. You got two people that are distracting themselves, or angry, or depressed, or both.
Yep.
And then two people that keep telling each other, if you just do it my way and meet my blueprint, then I would reciprocate.
Yes.
Which is that's a whore.
Yeah. Totally.
So you guys are just whoring, basically. And that's what you get, by the way. If you keep score in an intimate relationship like that, you don't have a partner. You've got a whore. Somebody that does something because you gave them something. You're horse trading. I'll give you this if you give me that. That's the 50-50 game that we talked about earlier. I'm saying it with a little more intensity now. So does that make sense, though?
Yeah.
Why it's the way it is?
Yeah. Really. Yeah. It's very clear. Yeah.
So you'll either feel used, you'll either do what he tells you to do, and you'll feel used.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Which you don't want to do. So then you'll expect the same from him, and he either does it or doesn't. But if he doesn't, then you'll feel abandoned.
Oh yeah.
So you're either abandoned or used up, and neither of those are very, very good.
Yeah.
So you're in that low-level relationship game.
Yeah.
I'll give you this if you give me that. We'll work it out. You could go do your thing, I'll do my thing, we come together, do our thing, and we make each other happy. But I'm only going to play along if you do, and we're going to keep score the whole time, because our your score is so hard to meet. I don't know about his, but your score is so hard to meet that it's impossible for him to even get on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
And his rules are probably equally interesting as well, because usually we attract a reciprocal.
So in order to change it, get clear on how much connection I really need to be happy.
Is it well? Wait a second. What's your rule for connection again? Could you share everything?
You have to work, live, sleep, eat, everything with me.
Yeah. So see, what you're saying is give up connection, but you can't get connection with that rule. So is it give up connection because my rules are so ridiculous, or just change my rules and then I can have connection?
Change my rules.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what could be a really good rule that would empower you for love? Because right now your rule is only if you spend every waking moment with me and give me love constantly.
No matter what.
No matter what.
Yeah, no matter what.
Only then I'll feel love after a certain period of time of you doing that. Enough. Maybe.
Well, I think no matter what.
So did you find the real meaning of I don't get enough time from my boyfriend? See, Nikki was actually getting plenty of time from him, actually probably more than he even had available. And it seemed that she was getting kind of hard to please, almost impossible for him to please, to give enough time to. And did she really want the time? Well, yeah, she wanted the time, but really there was something that she needed to get from that time, which was love. And we found out that the reason why she was so hard to please was because her rules were so strict, specifically her rules for love. With her rules for love, her boyfriend could never make her happy. And that was the most important diagnosis for me to be able to make early on in that interaction. Now let's move on to the root of the problem, certainty. So once you get a sense of what the real problem is, you want to dig down into the root of it. And the root of the problem is always a set of needs, survival needs, if you've ever heard me talk about this before, that every human being must meet. It's really the puppet strings that controls us. And I'm not going to get into detail about that right now. Watch some of my other videos if you want to get into those 4 survival needs. But certainty is actually one of those survival needs. So we're about to find that this whole pattern that Nikki'd been portraying and sharing with us started when she was about 5 and felt that her father had abandoned her. Now, he didn't do that. He didn't abandon her. However, at age 5, Nikki didn't have the intellectual and emotional resources to understand or appreciate that. We'll discover that instead, she decided that she was worthless. Even though this seems crazy and hurtful, it met her need for certainty, stability at the time, because it gave her a certain amount of sense of control at that time. And we'll do anything it takes to meet all our needs. Even when you're 5, you got to meet your needs. And her way of meeting her needs at the time was, I've been abandoned and I'm worthless. I must be worthless. She had to come up with an answer because the uncertainty of not understanding why this was happening was too much uncertainty for her. So instead of actually getting the kind of love that she deserved at the time, she gave herself certainty and missed out on a certain amount of love. And that pattern has perpetuated itself all the way up until we had this interaction. So let's take a look. So let's just clarify where we are so far. So what happens is you've got this rule that your boyfriend's got to be with you at all times in order for you to feel his love. And when you're with him, you feel a lot of love, but when you're not with him, it's like super painful because you miss that love and you feel like he doesn't love you in those times. And your rules are so tough that you guys are now horse trading or whoring basically in your relationship. And it's cost his sense of significance because he wants to make you feel great. And he feels like you can't do that now because your rules are like unmeetable basically. So we know that so far.
Well, I didn't know that until you guys all laughed. I didn't know that was ridiculous.
Right. Yeah. So here's the thing. We could just change the rule, but that's like one tentacle of the octopus here. The rule you created, he's got to spend time with me all the time, came from another set of beliefs. That started, like you said, when you were 5. With what happened with your father exactly?
My father left and went to Thailand during the war. He was with IBM and he went, to work, I don't know, in the war. And he didn't come back till I was 12. Totally didn't call or anything. And my grandmother sold her house, which I lived with the whole
Well,
family.
wait a second. When your father left and you made that mean what?
It was when he didn't call is when I
Right.
made it.
And what is that? What is the meaning?
I don't
of
matter.
Yeah, you don't matter. So it wasn't even about him. She made it, it was about her. So why didn't your father call? Did you ever find out? Did you ever ask him?
He didn't really care.
Yeah.
He didn't care.
Is that what he said?
No, but I mean, as
So
I got
you
to
made
know
that up too,
As
then.
an older person, I realized he's just very like a kid, just like really cerebral and just not into connection.
Okay. So it's not that he didn't care though. He just wasn't that wasn't his thing to connect with everybody. That wasn't what he was about.
Because when I was little, he really cared. He'd come over with
Yeah.
a whole car full of toys. I mean, like really, really care.
Yeah. Yeah, so
and
you
then
get
no
that?
care at all. Yeah.
Well, no, that's the thing, is that he never stopped caring. It's just you made it mean that he stopped caring.
Okay.
And so for the next man in your life, as soon as he's not there, it's like he doesn't care either. So you just started with your dad.
Making that up.
Right.
Okay.
Do you get that he really cared the whole time?
Yeah, because when
just
he
wasn't
came
there?
back, he had a whole car full
Yeah.
of toys again.
Yeah, he just cared.
And bought me a $500 puppy.
Right.
And
So people don't do that for people they don't care about. You get that? It's just at the time you made that little decision, and it was so painful that when we have beliefs and they're coupled with intense amounts of pain, we remember them forever. It's a belief of extreme consequence. And so you've got a triad that's so intense, and it's orchestrated by this belief. And so now, instead of just believing that and being in pain all the time, you found some ways to get around it, but you have all these rules because you're scared shitless of experiencing that same emotion again. But you still do,
yeah.
because the rules are so tough. Not because you're back and you're not 5 anymore, and your father's hasn't abandoned you, and you know he cares now. And you're clear on that, yes? Why aren't you still clear? I mean, he bought you the frickin' puppy. What else does he have to do?
Well, there's other things that's happened since then.
Okay. What?
I had a Mercedes, and he bought it from me for $14,000, and he only paid me $5,000, and he never paid me the rest.
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't talked to me for 10 years.
Okay. Why when someone didn't have the money to pay for something he got for you, would he not talk to you?
No, he bought it from me.
He bought it from you.
From me.
Okay. So why, if somebody owes you money, would they not talk to you? Because they don't care? Or could there be... What else could that mean other than he doesn't care?
He feels bad?
Interesting. And by the way, if he didn't care, he probably would talk to you because he wouldn't give a shit about how you feel about the fact that he owes you money. Right? So actually, he actually cares more because he feels so bad and he's scared to talk to you because he doesn't want to own up to the fact that he's being irresponsible about his promise with you. He sounds like a really caring man that just has integrity issues. And he probably maybe has some financial issues as well. I mean, he's not like super rich or anything. If he is, then we should know that.
No, he's not anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
So you kind of made that up too, to stick with the purse thing that you made up.
Daddy doesn't care.
Yeah. So we can take whatever belief that we're really decide to believe and just find every reason why that's the case. Why would you hold on to this belief about your father? What need do you meet by...
Then I'm certain that I don't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not mattering is not one of your needs.
I'm certain I'm not loved. I'm certain...
You're just certain. You get some level of control, which is exactly what you were trying to get with your boyfriend by having all those rules. Control.
And then I could be certain that he doesn't love me because there's no way in hell that somebody could have no life of their own and totally do everything I want.
So this isn't about love. This is about control and certainty for you.
Okay.
You get that?
Yeah, but it's
You
so
want
funny.
the love. It's about controlling the love. And when you control the love, that's when you when you choke off your gift. That's when you choke off the love that you could have, because there is no certainty in love. That's what there was to learn about your father, is that, you know, when you get love, you may not just have the same experience tomorrow. With the love that you've gotten, would you rather just get rid of all the love and never experience any of it?
I'm getting to that point, yeah.
So that's what you want. You are getting to that point with your boyfriend
With
and your
everybody.
family and everybody. Yeah. So so we know that's where you're going, is where you're ultimately going to be at a 0 level love.
Yeah.
But I doubt that's what you really want. But at the same time, it's not that you want to get rid of the love, it's just that you want the certainty so much, and you've operated from that so long, and you've created so much pain for yourself as a result of playing that certainty game, that now you're like, I'm going to figure out how to get total certainty. And you will.
Yeah.
You will get total certainty.
Yeah,
Just get rid of everybody in your life. Kill them all.
Betty Davis said something. She says, if you want to be happy in life, focus on your career.
Yeah, because that's something you can control, and then you can be like a man. You just focus on career, totally control, put everything in the little box, put it all in there, and focus on significance and certainty. That's a man. Which, by the way, when you start doing that with your boyfriend, then he's not going to be attracted to you anymore, and he can't win the game either. But he's still your boyfriend?
It's at the very end of it.
It's at the very end. But he hasn't left yet?
No, but he's kicking and screaming. It's almost
He's
as bad
kicking and
as me
screaming.
laying on the ground and
Yeah.
crying and doing my thing. He's
Right.
doing his thing by getting really angry.
Yeah. So what it sounds like is that you've got a guy that totally loves you so much that he still won't leave, even when it's far past when any other guy would have bailed. And you still don't feel love. Right, you get that? So this is hurting you, it's hurting him, and what you get for that, for all that work that you put into this, is certainty. Because you're unloved, and even when people do love you, you don't feel the love, and you're worthless and insignificant.
I don't trust.
Yeah, and it's a cause it's because you don't trust, right? You don't have faith. But the reason it's not really about trust, that's just more of the certainty thing.
Yeah, I see that.
What we do is we're like, well, I have to be with a man that's honest, or I have to be with somebody that's honest. I have to have everyone around me has to always say the right thing. But everything you've been doing is lying to yourself about everything that's happened.
Yeah, I realize that.
So that whole trying to get trust, it's like, that's just, again, it's another word for certainty for you.
Yeah.
Because you don't have that, and you
I
still
don't
don't
trust
feel
it's
the
going to be
certainty.
certain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get no love, you're unloved, you feel worthless, you're insignificant, and you've done this all your life.
Yep.
So this is, although I think you do get some variety from this at some level.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Because
figured that
there's
out.
a lot of drama and ups and downs with this.
We figured that out.
Yeah, so you get the certainty and variety thing, but you don't get any significance and you don't get any
Nope.
love from it. Yeah.
No, I know. I don't get any love from it.
Yeah.
It's not working.
So, is this worth it? Is it worth giving up love and significance to just get to get certainty?
To have certainty only.
Yeah, because you're going to lose the variety once you get rid of everybody. Because then it'll just be you and your career, and that's pretty boring.
So is this starting to make sense? I hope it does. Now, let me explain to you what's going to happen next. For the first time since she was 5, Nikki will decide that losing love is not worth the certainty it gives her. She's going to make a powerful decision to draw a line in the sand, and that this pattern must change today. Let's watch.
So now what we're looking for here is, she knows what the cost is, but the question is there enough leverage for you? I mean, I can see you're in pain, But again, is this something you have to change yet with the way you feel about this, or are you just going to keep doing this, or
no,
what?
I have to change it. It seems like it's
Yeah.
the next step. If I don't do it, it's just I'm not going to be able to be authentic. I'm losing my power. I mean,
Your significance.
yeah.
You see, but that's the thing that got her going, is she's so about significance that then finally when she starts losing the very thing that got her there, that's what's waking her up. It's not the love. Love is not a problem for her. It's just it's only a problem because she's got this rule about it, but she gets the connection that she really needs. It's really about the significance, and now that she doesn't get enough, now she wants to talk about it. Now she wants to deal with it. So what do you want now? Now that you know you're not getting as much significance as you were, and it's going to go away, and you know that you've had plenty of men in your life that love you, and that have loved you, and that still do love you, and will always love you possibly, what do you want now? What do you really want?
It seems like certainty. It's so weird because I don't think I'm like.
Well, what do you mean certainty? How would you
like
know?
It seems like I won't. Seems like I won't love anybody all the way unless I'm certain.
That's right, but certain about that you can get that attention. So it's really
certain
like
that they're going to stay. Certain.
Mm-hmm. Right, because that's the most painful thing. Is it was not getting Dad's attention, but it was also the fact you had no control. That he was gone, and
So
there's nothing you can do about it.
I'm going to have to let go of control.
Well, you have to have certainty some way. It's just the vehicle that you're getting, which is controlling everyone else's behavior. How's that working?
It doesn't. And
Right.
it's so funny that you say that to me because I hate that about my sister. I didn't know I do that. My sister will get out of a car and tell the person in front of her how they should drive.
You're like a micromanager.
And I don't do that. But I'm
Well,
doing
that's
it.
exactly what you do, actually. With the people that you care about most, too.
I'm telling them how
You're
to...
controlling. You want to control every bit of it, and you've been doing that as much as you can, in the best way that you know how. You're using your energy, your femininity. You're using your attention-getting mechanisms. You're using the drama to try and control your boyfriend, to control other people, but
Okay.
especially
That's
your
my
boyfriend.
vehicle is my emotions.
Yeah.
The drama. Okay.
And then you can grab control. You get the significance that you're trying to control, and then you let yourself have love as well. But you've put all this stuff on top. What you really want is love, but what you've been going after is control about significance. So it's certainty coupled with significance, really. Significance really on top, but certainty, you still are trying to get the certainty of that significance. So yeah. So that's what you're doing, but again, what do you want? I mean, do you just want more certainty? I mean, if you do, you're just going to get more of the same,
No,
and that's
I
fine
want-
with me. I mean, it's your life.
I want more love. I want to live in that flow of love, and just I like when everything goes right and we keep moving or keep growing or just stay in that good space. I
Yeah.
don't like the negativity that shuts everything down, dampers the light down again. I like to just burn bright.
Right. So the reason you do the negativity is to get the certainty and the significance, to get control, because you learn that you can do that. So when the next time you don't have control and you're questioning whether or not you're getting significance because somebody's not paying attention to you,
Questioning it. Okay.
when you do that, when you see that that's occurring, what are you going to do instead of the negativity? Because right now, that's the only option you have. What's another option when people aren't paying attention or your boyfriend's not paying attention and you don't have the control?
Just know in my heart that everything's okay.
Yeah.
Like,
What would you have to believe to know that everything's okay?
that everything's okay.
Well,
That I'm safe.
But there's something specific. Yeah, safe because what? Because the thing that your dad,
I'm loved.
that you're loved
I love
and
myself.
nice. Because
No
that was
matter
really
what.
what came from feeling unworthy, is being unloved as well.
And I hated myself.
Yeah. So you got to love yourself first.
Yeah, I
And the
totally...
reason why you try to get the love and the significance and the attention from someone else, and you're so addicted to that, is because
Yeah.
you don't have it for yourself.
I won't do it for myself. I'm going
Right.
to make you do it. I'll make you do the work. Because
Yeah.
I can't. I haven't been able to do it, so I'll get it from you.
So you can see that Nikki now realizes that the reason she wasn't feeling love from her father or her boyfriend was because she wasn't loving herself. All the love came from herself in the first place. And it's easy to say that as a platitude. It's much harder to actually drill down deep and work with your clients so they actually get it. They connect the dots for their situation, not just talking like they're reading a personal development book or something like that. So now we're going to move on to the unconditional love exercise. Once you get to what the real problem is and get to the root of that and diagnose that properly, as we've just demonstrated here, then we need to move on and actually do something to change that pattern. And in this particular example, I take Nikki through what I would call the unconditional love exercise. And this exercise is actually a fairly simple exercise. You see, I just take her through some processes where she closes her eyes, she visualizes certain things, and she starts to experience unconditional love for herself and others. So let's watch further as Nikki realizes how she's been judging herself so harshly that it's robbed her of love. And in fact, she's projected that judgment on everyone else around her, even though she was judging herself the most. This pattern was the source of her judging, withholding love from her boyfriend. You'll see me guide her to remove all self-judgment and feel unconditional love for herself and her family for the first time in her life. And you'll see the change in her body and soul as she goes through this process.
We know that's a skill that you need to build. You get that? That's the next thing for you. If you just had that skill of loving yourself, that you wouldn't need it from, I mean, you still like it from other people, from your boyfriend.
Yeah.
It's just you wouldn't have to control it all the time.
And it wouldn't be so needy. It wouldn't be so icky for them.
Yeah. Yeah, because you wouldn't have to turn on that negativity. You could do it in positive ways and have fun doing it. If you're loving yourself in the moment, then they're going to be more attracted to loving you because they're going to feel love from you. Because when you give someone love, what do you feel? When you give someone else love, and you've done this before,
Yeah.
when you give someone else love, what do you feel?
Well, when you say give them love, it's kind of funny because when I think of giving somebody love, it's like giving them themselves, like teaching them, inspiring them.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could give any other kind of love. I don't know.
Well,
Like somebody might feed people. I don't feed people. I feed people. Like people really like themselves around me. They like themselves. They think they like me. But
you don't look like this is like a good thing. It sounds good to me. You should tell your face how good this is.
I don't feel like I love anybody. I don't feel like I.
You just said you love somebody. This is feminine energy, by the way. It's a story. It's like two exactly opposite things at the same time. It's great.
I don't feel like I love people. I feel like I teach them.
How would you know if you do love them?
I don't know.
Well, maybe that's why you don't feel like it, because you have no rules for whether or not you do. Well, so she needs some help here. She needs some ideas of rules for what has to happen for you to love somebody else. Because you don't have any rules for love. You have rules for significance and certainty, but you don't have rules for love. Are you getting this? Okay. So how do you know you love somebody, Bill? How do you know what is a way to give someone love? She has no rules for whether or not she feels love for herself or feels love for anyone else. Fill their needs. Have you ever filled anybody else's needs?
Their needs that they would.
I don't think there's other type of their needs.
I make up.
She said that. It's like, oh my God, their needs.
I make up what they want. I choose what I think they need. That's how I do it.
Why? Is that the certainty
and they don't
still
like
driving you?
I don't know.
Boy, are you a bitch. Oh
Am
my
I
God.
really?
You're this controlling,
right.
evil bitch that's just like, I'm going to tell you what you want. Unbelievable.
What you need, I'm going to tell you what you need.
To tell you what you need, right.
I do, and they shut down almost every time.
Congratulations. Good times. Okay, So that's probably not a good
Well, I came
strategy.
to that today. Today was a really good day because I didn't.
Uh-huh.
When you said something that was similar
Mm-hmm.
about meeting their needs, the thing that I came up with is I was so afraid to do these things for people. When I was giving an analogy to somebody else, I said it's like plants all around us, and if we don't water the plants all around us, what are they going to look like all
Yeah.
around us? And that's what my life is like. Everything is kind of dead and withering everywhere.
Right, including you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I just take that little bit in love and acknowledgement, it's acknowledging these people. It doesn't take long. I think it's going to take a long time, but it's really just a little and a little. And I'll have a beautiful garden around me. Somebody said, Nikki, how are you taking care of yourself? Which I do not. Like,
Right,
at
because
all.
you're waiting for everybody else to do that. Because you want to keep score with that significance again.
Okay, that's what I'm doing.
And you're doing it if you don't take care of yourself,
Then they
you'll be,
will take care of me, and then I feel special.
Right.
Okay, that's what I'm doing.
So you're not just not loving them, you're not loving yourself either.
Yeah, because then I feel really bad because then they're taking care. I don't like them
Right.
to take care of me because it makes me feel useless, or that's why I won't receive. That's why I don't like receiving.
Yeah. So this is a shitty pattern with shitty results
Yeah.
and shitty emotions. It's like across the board shitty.
Yeah.
And you want to change it, but the thing that it seems is that you don't. It's not that you don't know how. It's just that it sounds to me like you have not experienced you loving someone else or you loving yourself. True or not true? Would you agree or
that's
disagree?
totally true. And
Okay.
you just got me because when I'm taking care of her needs that she wants, that would be really great. She'd feel really great. I don't even take care of my own needs.
Right.
Like yesterday, I had on pants that were like way too tight and they hurt all day, and I just ignored it
Uh-huh.
instead of unbuttoning it. Like I don't even take care. I hear my body wanting certain needs, and I don't take care of
Right.
myself.
So
So I'm not even listening to my own needs.
So here's the thing, and we all know this now, so this is going to be really simple. So if you're someone who has not ever felt love from yourself, just for yourself, what is that? Love for yourself is a what? We talked about it this morning.
Self-esteem?
It's a triad. Who said triad? Somebody over there. Bill said triad. Okay. It's a triad, right?
So rewrite my triad.
So you actually could just feel love right now for yourself. So go ahead and let's have you do that, since you've never done it before, really. So you can actually practice that piece, because this is the fuel that you haven't used. You've used the fuel of fear and of unhappiness and depression. You've used all these other fuels to try to get love, try to get certainty and significance. And you've gotten some of it, but it's wearing thin. It's like a 5-year-old's way of getting love, right?
Yeah.
Where all this got created.
When you told me to feel love for myself, I tried to think of somebody I could think of that I have love. I couldn't think of anybody.
Right.
But then I remembered my grandmother.
Okay. That
That's the
gave you
only
love,
person that I loved.
or that you loved. So you
Like,
have
more
loved
than
somebody
my
else
kids.
then. You know how to love somebody else then, because you've done it with your grandmother.
But I don't feel like I do all the way with anybody. Maybe I didn't all the way with her either.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, I think that we got to start with anything
Okay, yeah.
before we get to all the way.
Okay, let me see.
You're just going to start
Okay.
with some level of success with
Yeah,
that.
I totally loved her.
So the first thing you can do is stop judging yourself at this level, because you have loved somebody else. Maybe not yourself, but you have loved somebody else before. But you judge your own love and what you give and your gift and everything just as harshly as you've judged your father, just as harshly as you judge your boyfriend.
My sister.
Yeah. And I can understand why you judge them, because it was your way of controlling. But judging yourself doesn't do anything for you. So can you let go of that judgment and just let your just give it up for a second? What would it feel like? What would your body feel like if you just stopped judging yourself for a second? If you had no judgment for anything that you've ever done?
I think it feels kind of, I feel kind of weak. Weak.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because the way that you've gotten your strength is through judging and with your mind.
That's so funny because I didn't think I was judgmental.
And your whole thing is that to not be judgmental and just to love is weak. And that's what you did with your father. What's your father's name?
Bill.
That's what you did with Bill when you were 5. You loved him unconditionally. And then you got hurt. And so your whole connection is, gosh, if I love without conditions, without judgment, then I'll be hurt. But you can only be hurt if you hurt yourself.
That's exactly why the people right around me, closest to me, I have a horrible relationship. Everybody who's further, I can totally love them unconditionally. But the people
because you get to wave the banner of unconditional love because it's something you don't really do.
And the people that are closest to me see me loving everybody else and giving, and they get very pissed.
I bet they do.
How come you don't love me like that?
Right.
Why do you love everybody else? Why do you love strangers? Okay.
Yeah. And now we know it's because of your fear of being 5 and all that junk. You get that?
Uh-huh.
All right. Really good. So in this last part of the conversation, now you've gotten aware of that, now you, for a moment there, you actually stopped judging yourself. And like you said, it felt kind of weak, but that's actually, it's not weak. That's the letting go of the tension.
Oh, that's
you feel that?
Yeah. That'd be like taking it off.
Yeah. It's a whole different feeling. And as you stop judging yourself, what do you feel for yourself?
It's very cool because one of my affirmations is, Nikki, chisel away the part that's not Nikki. Chisel it away, and this is like a piece of it.
That's what it was.
I didn't even know it. Yeah.
It felt, for a second, it felt weak because that part was gone. But that's just the real you underneath it. And it does feel kind of weak because it's uncertain.
I actually feel all right with it. No.
Nice.
Yeah, because I already know how to do it.
Yeah, you're doing it
for
right
other
now,
people,
aren't you?
So I can do it for me and my family too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the moment you started to not judge yourself, you actually stopped judging your family. You stopped judging your boyfriend. You get that?
Uh-huh.
Because really, you weren't ever really judging them. You were just judging yourself so harshly you felt you had to judge them. That was the only reason you did it. So now that you're not judging yourself, how do you feel about yourself?
I feel fine. I feel,
And that's where love starts.
I don't feel, this whole process has been awesome, Jeff. Thank you. I don't feel needy. I'm fine.
Yeah, and the reason you don't feel needy is because you've started to accept yourself, and acceptance will always lead to love. And so as you continue to accept yourself, and you bring the love, that unconditional love that you've given to people far away, because you still had unconditional love for yourself. You were still loving yourself. It's just you didn't want to do it directly because it was too dangerous, because there was uncertainty there. So as you allow that consistent acceptance within yourself to lead to that unconditional love, how would you breathe? How would you stand? What kind of look would you have on your face? Close your eyes. It's time to go home. That's right. With no judgment, if you were to see yourself, if you were to experience yourself, the love that you really do have for yourself, that's why you did all that crazy shit. But knowing that you could have gotten any love you've gotten in the past from yourself, that's the only place that you got it anyway. You might as well give it to yourself now, even if your boyfriend's not here. And as you breathe that way right now, and breathe like you would breathe if you felt unconditional love. And all those things that you did for other people, hypothetically, far away, do it for yourself right now. How did you think about them? Think that way about yourself. That's right. That's it. How did you feel about them? Feel that way about yourself right now. Give yourself those gifts that you were giving hypothetically to others. See yourself the way you saw them. That's right. Really good. So with your eyes still closed, on a 0 to 10, where do you think your love is for yourself right now?
Like a 7, 8, feels like even like going to 9.
Yeah.
Even 10.
Yeah, nice. And where do you feel it in your body?
It seems like, it seems everywhere.
Nice.
It seems like there's a lot of something here. I used to have a lot of hurt in here.
Feel it to the point where it's overwhelming. Feel that greatest amount of love you've ever given anyone else, far away, so you didn't have to take any risks, you know? And give it to yourself, because you know you're not going to abandon yourself. You're here. You can't do it. It's impossible. Feel that level of love for yourself where it's overwhelming, where it permeates your soul.
Okay.
And as you feel that love for yourself, imagine put your boyfriend and put Bill where you used to put, you know where you used to put those people in your mind that are far away, where you used to see them in your mind's eye? Put Bill and put your boyfriend in those places, like right in those places in your mind. That's right.
That's cool.
And send them unconditional love, just like you're giving yourself, and share it with them right now. And see how that makes them feel.
Yeah.
That's right. And as you continue to feel more love for them, bring them closer to where you usually have them, where they're right in front of you, where they're close to you. Bring them closer, but only as fast as you can continue to feel more and more unconditional love. More intensity of love, more love with no judgment of them, no matter how many mistakes they made. They always loved, even if they didn't know how. And they really knew how, it's just they didn't think they did because they had some rules and judgments about themselves or others, just like you did. And because you love and accept yourself, even though you did that for a while in the past, you know it was just a mistake that you made. You're correcting it now by giving yourself love. You can do that for them too. As you pull them closer to you and closer to you and closer to you, get to the point where that love for them is overwhelming. Double that love, whatever you have to do. Breathe the way you would breathe if you gave them total love. And in this state of mind, what do you know now about your relationship with, what's your boyfriend's name?
Gabriel.
With Gabriel? What do you know about your relationship now, coming from this love place rather than the significance place?
That I was abandoning him.
Yeah. So the very thing that, remember we talked about switching? Gabe is abandoning me, I'm abandoning him. And you wouldn't do that because you know how much that hurts, right? You would never do that to somebody else if you knew you were doing it. So now that you know that's what you were up to, and now that you know you can be responsible for that, and now that you know you can love him unconditional and yourself no matter what he does, because he didn't change, nothing changed with him. You felt level 10 love for yourself at that moment. You felt level 10 love. Did you feel love from him, by the way, when you were sending him love?
Oh, yeah.
When you were sending him love?
Yeah, I felt that he softened and opened up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's not even here.
When I loved him as much as I would anybody in this room. When they're telling me their dream.
Yeah. So the fact is then, and you've just proven that no matter what's going on with Gabe or Bill, that you can feel unconditional love for them and from them and for yourself. Because nothing has changed since you were back there at that table.
And I'm not going to lose anything.
Yeah. Because you had it, you always had the love for yourself. You just had some rules when you were 5, which is understandable. A 5-year-old should have a couple of rules because if they didn't, you know, maybe somebody would abandon them and they wouldn't survive. But now that you're grown up and you can take care of yourself, you don't need to play that game anymore.
Yeah.
You can just give yourself love whenever they don't, or whenever they're not ready to, or whenever they're gone. And you can make that way more important than significance, because in this conversation, at some point, you shifted your body, and you shifted your rules, and you shifted your beliefs about what's possible, and knowing that you can get love without the significance, without the attention from them at least,
Yeah.
and without controlling that and having certainty about that you can still get love.
And
So-
I can be certain about that.
You can be certain about that because you control it all, and you always have. You just had some rules about what they had to do, and so you decided not to in those moments.
Yeah.
So now you know, and now in this moment, what I was saying is because all those rules have shifted, and because all the beliefs have shifted, just in that very proving process that we did, you now can put love where it really is for you. Because it's always been most important. You just had some shit you made up to try to control that. Now that you have another way of controlling it, would you ever want to do that again?
No, I feel more like a woman now. I wanted to be a little girl. I even noticed, even until about a year or so ago, I wanted to be called a girl. I was resisting being a woman, and I've been accused of being a little girl too. Yeah. So yeah, I see where I could just owning that.
So it's a really important thing that you can do because you kind of got stuck at age 5 in this area. Is to give her, what do they call you when you were 5? They call you Nikki?
Nikki.
To give little Nikki that unconditional love that she thought she didn't have. So close your eyes for one more time. And I want you to make a picture of Nikki at age 5. And see her the way she was before any of the crap happened. Before she ever made up that she wasn't worth anything or she wasn't significant enough to get attention, before any of that was a problem. And give her unconditional love as she moves forward in time. As she grows a month older, a year older, etc., and she reaches age 5, continue to give her unconditional love. And remember that moment that she felt like she lost it? Go back to that moment now. And see her in your mind's eye. And give her all that love. Go to her and actually let her know it's going to be okay. And that she can be loved. And that all this was just a lesson for her to learn that she gives herself love. And she can cause love for herself. It was a gift for her to give herself, so she can then give that gift to others. So anyone else who feels a limitation, anyone else who feels like they might not have love, she can give them love someday. And she can give them the ability to give themselves love anytime they need, so they never have to feel abandoned again. They never have to feel a lack of love again. And they never have to be so addicted to certainty again that they piss everybody off. Tell her it's going to be okay and give her a hug. That's right. That's it. And then as you let her grow up with those new resources within her, see how her life changed. See how she acted differently. See how she related differently to her parents, to her family, to the people close to her, to her friends. As you go year after year, see all these different relationships and how they changed, how it all went great. And she gave herself love. She always gave herself love. Because you gave her that gift. And you'll always feel her love. Because the voice that you used to share with her went with her for all those years. And as you let her grow up to the point where she becomes you in this moment, take all the time you need to go year upon year upon year and let her grow up and go happier and happier, more and more loving, more and more free, and more a woman, a beautiful woman who loves herself and gives love freely. And as you take all the time you need to arrive in your body today as the Nikki that you knew she always was. And you know now that you've got this great boyfriend who loves you like crazy and is totally committed to you. But he just needs a few things for himself too. And you've got some other great people that you never judged because you didn't need to anymore. You have all those gifts still right in front of you. And only open your eyes as quickly as you can feel love for yourself and them for the rest of your life, no matter what happens, no matter what they do, because the rules of the game have changed. And you've taken control back. You always had control, it's just it looked like it didn't for a short time. Awesome. Fantastic work.
So did you see that at the end, the rules of the game have changed for Nikki? She can now experience and give love without conditions, without rules, i.e. unconditional love. Nikki has gone from judging herself and sabotaging her relationship to unconditional love for everyone around her in about 40 minutes. Pretty exciting to be able to use these tools to see that happen in such a short period of time. So that's the unconditional love exercise and how to use the understandings of the life blueprint that we've been talking about to instantly transform your client's life. And these are the abilities that our students develop as we train them in strategy coaching technology and as they become strategy coaches. So I hope that you learn something here and that you go out and you actually use this with your clients or your family or your friends or yourself for that matter. And even if we don't get a chance to work together in one of our trainings and you become a master strategy coach through our certification process, I hope our paths cross again soon and you have a chance to share with me how these distinctions made a difference for you, your life, and your clients' lives as well. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to share this video with people around you that you care about. Hopefully they'll learn something from it or use it with their own loved ones, clients, family, people around them as well. And please put a comment below this video if you can, if it's possible, and let me know questions that you have or anything that you learned. I'd love to interact with you in the cloud here and get a chance to kind of talk a little bit more about using life blueprints and the unconditional love exercise. Take care, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.